All right. Welcome, welcome. Here we go. We got Friday, October 27th, and apparently the chat wants it officially to be declared Mofo Fridays. Sure. You know what? This isn't a dictatorship. This is a democracy. Couldn't do it without the community. You want Mofo Fridays? Mofos, you got it. Welcome. It is good to have you here. Thank you so much for stopping on by. We got a fun weekend coming up. We got a weekend that starts tonight with the Warriors playing up in Sacramento. Got ourselves a really big football game, a good slate of games coming up in the NFL this weekend. Obviously, college football. World Series is starting tonight. I mean, your sports juices should officially be flowing. I got two fired up kids who believe that Halloween begins with the first carving of a pumpkin, which happens tonight. So there's going to be a lot going on. Lots going on. It is good to have you. Halloween parties all over the place. People in costumes. Halloween titties everywhere. I'm all for it. I really am. I love it. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. We ended yesterday, talking about a kind of a dark subject, and we didn't have any Club Plussin. Today, we will. But first, I hope you enjoyed that thumbnail. It's one of the favorite I've ever made. Big game, cow. Yeah, I mean, I got a little Cartman coming for Kyle Shanahan this week. I really do. This is a big game. This is a big fork in the road week for Shanahan. Look, he either gets a great feel-good win to go into the bye week at 6-2 and everybody's happy again, or they're 5-3 with a 3-game losing streak and everybody is absolutely miserable. And we don't want that. We don't want that. I don't want that. You don't want that. Only the good folks in Cincinnati really want that. So this is a big game. Steve Wilkes has done his hat in hand apology to the media. It's like Kyle sent him forward to, say, this is, take responsibility for that, Steve. That was not good. That blitz that gave up that touchdown late in the first half, and it is one of those he needs to wear it moments. It really is. That's how bad it was. However, it only says head coach on one guy's office door, and that's yours, Kyle, which means everything that happens, whether it was your call or not, is your fault. That's the way it goes. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And, I like Kyle Shanahan an awful lot, but there is no doubt that man's got an ego, and he doesn't want to say that he was responsible for anything that went bad. Look, did you hear that call over the headset, Kyle? Because if you let that zero blitz, I don't even know if it was a zero blitz, but if you let that blitz go in right before the half, that's on you, Chief. You can call a timeout. You can talk that again. And he is pretty much copped to saying as much like, yeah, I should have been on that. I should have done something a little bit different there. And he should have. He should have. Saying that I'm going to talk to my defensive coordinator about it is not throwing his defensive coordinator under the bus. Steve Wilkes is right to say that that's on me. But Kyle, we all know that that's on you. And look, not saying that Kyle has spent a week throwing everybody under the bus looking for blame. I'm not saying that. But it's not been a great week around here. It's not been a great week. And I'm going to tell you right now that if this team seriously has a 3-game losing streak after the rousing 5-0 start that we all saw that bordered on perfect. Again, I kept on doing shows saying, what's going to go wrong? Something is going to go wrong. Something always does. Where's it coming from? Where's the pain coming from? Well, a 3-game losing streak going into the bye week would be plenty of opportunities for pain, for criticism, fair or not. All I can tell you, Kyle, is that bus will be coming for you if it officially is a 3-game losing streak going into the bye week. Now, mind you, all of this is perception. And this isn't one of those perception then will become reality things. Kyle has more job security than 99% of everyone who is cashing a paycheck under the topic of sports. He really does. He's not going anywhere. But just the feeling, look good, feel good, play good. They're not really playing good. They always look good. They got great uniforms. But feeling good, you can't feel good in a 3-game losing streak. You just can't. It's a little chilly outside. I had the space heater going, and that thing was working overtime. I just had to tamp that down a little bit. Easy, Chief. All right. So, who's it going to be under quarterback? Who is it going to be? Purdy was out for practice yesterday, and he's still not cleared of concussion protocol. Again, in order to get Purdy back on the field Sunday, he is going to have to be cleared of concussion protocol faster and quicker than any player has been allowed out of the protocol program in the last calendar year of football. So, if it's going to happen, if Purdy is playing, I don't know necessarily if we know that today. Kyle loves to, have an air of mystery about his team. He doesn't want to share any information that he doesn't have to share until he needs to share it. I don't know if we will really know the answer, but the decision, I believe, will be made internally today, whether or not it's going to be Purdy or Sam Darnold. And look, it probably should be Darnold, but boy, I do hope it is Purdy out there and he is ready to go. And this is me not having faith. It's not me not having faith in Sam Darnold. I would think that he could come into the role of backup quarterback and execute the game plan pretty well. I really do. But the truth is, and you gotta, again, opinions don't matter when you have actual facts, right? San Francisco is 9-29 under Kyle Shanahan when the quarterback is not named Jimmy or Brock. It's just that simple. 9-29, that's a big sample size. That is a significant 20 games being under 500 when you have a quarterback not named Garoppolo or Purdy in the Kyle Shanahan era. As a matter of fact, when it comes to just that first start, like no matter who, quarterbacks are 3-3 under Shanahan, getting their first start under Shanahan, the head coach. Hoyer, Beathard, and Lance all lost their debuts under Shanahan, while Jimmy, Nick Mullins, and of course Brock Purdy won their debuts. So the choice between starter and backup, again, it's not a hard choice. I'm not uncovering anything that you haven't already thought about. But it is time for this decision to be made. It probably gets made today. Whether it's shared externally or not, I do not know. But internally, I do believe that they will reach their conclusion as to who starts on Sunday. And then you're going to want that quarterback, in practice today, taking the snaps. You're going to want him in the walkthrough tomorrow. And here we go. Again, this is a big game, There is one reassuring thing about this game. Even though it feels like there's not a lot of reassurance coming in here, Cincinnati feels like it's ascending a little bit, Niners descending a little bit. Hopefully these are, unrelated things. And you really do find out this weekend that there is no momentum in between games and so on and so forth and all the cliches. It is a good thing. Here's something I've rarely ever said. It's a good thing for the 49ers. This game is at Levi Stadium. You haven't heard that from me very often, right? Right now, Kyle's won 9 in a row at home. Cal beat the Bengals. That's the first 10-game winning streak in Levi Stadium's completely unglorious history. It would be the third longest home winning streak in franchise history. These are significant numbers for a team that has, had very significant successful seasons at home. So this is a big weekend. It's a really big weekend for the 49ers, and there's no pretending that it isn't. It's not going to determine where this season goes, but it's going to go a long way determining how the end of this first half feels and what kind of bye week the Niners will allow themselves to then have. By the way, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars coming right out of the bye week too, so that doesn't get any easier, right? I want to thank my sponsors. Just the other day, I ordered a sandwich from Ike's. It was delicious. I took a picture of it. A lot of people saw that picture. You went to Ike's yourself. Whenever you go to Ike's, tag me on Twitter. Take a picture of that gorgeous sandwich and tag me on Twitter. I want to share it. I love the fact that people are responding to my sponsors, and why wouldn't you respond to Ike's? My gosh, it's a delicious sandwich. Whatever kind of sandwich you might want, believe me, he's got it. Get yourself the Ike's app. Download it on your phone today if you haven't. It's available in all the app stores, and start earning your way towards free sandwiches by collecting Ike rewards points. You'll be happy that you did. It's going to make you want to eat more sandwiches, and then everybody comes out winning. Ike does brisk business. You have a delicious lunch. Everybody wins. You eventually get free lunch. Right? I mean, that's a winning situation. Speaking of winning situations, nobody uncovers them from the world of sports faster, quicker, or more regularly than my man Steph at bottomlinebets.com. Use promo code Bruce for a free day of handicapping. You can do that today. You can do that tomorrow. You can do that on your NFL Sunday, but do it. Please do it. Bottomlinebets.com. Sign up for a free day of handicapping. Promo code Bruce. Do it. Find out for yourself how good my man is at picking winners off the big board in Las Vegas and sharing them with you. Bottomlinebets.com, promo code Bruce. Damon, where do I take all that advice? Well, you take it to mybookie.ag and use promo code Damon over there for a 50% deposit match. If you're looking to get into a little having fun, skin in the game, betting space, mybookie.ag is a great place to do it. A trusted, dependable website, easy to use, easy interface, the sponsor of the podcast. Go ahead and take care of my sponsors. Sign up for bottomlinebets.com, mybookie.ag. Bruce will get you a free day of handicapping. Promo code Damon will get you a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip, which you can use in their casino floor because this is offshore. It's pretty cool. Find out for yourself. If you want to have a little fun putting some skin in the game, we got 2 ways to go about it that should make you better at putting your skin in the game than if you just, tried to do it yourself. How do you beat the Cincinnati Bengals? It's real simple, right? It's real simple. You make Joe Burrow uncomfortable. That is the key goal. Anytime you're playing a great quarterback, making sure that great quarterback is not standing out there all comfortable, happy, in a nice pocket, that's a good way to go about winning. And a big part of the reason why the 49ers have done an awful lot of winning over the last few years is because they've had a defensive line who has made quarterbacks uncomfortable. For the last 2 weeks, there's been way too much opposing quarterback comfort. We know that. We see it. We acknowledge it. We salute it. And it's officially time for this team to correct it. It really is. I mean, look at the talent you have on this defensive line. Now let's see it, for goodness sakes. Sip of the day right there. That was good. That was perfect. It's time. It's officially time. Get Joe Burrow uncomfortable. He has only been sacked on 5.6% of his dropbacks this season. NinersNation.com was sharing some information that Burrow has honestly struggled in a lot of situations this season. He is ranking outside the top 15 in important stats like passing touchdowns and completion percentage and yards per game. An awful lot of that was a really slow start. Bengals got out of the starter block in a funny way because of a calf injury to Joe Burrow that he is officially now. Look, he was recovering from it before the bye week, and the Bengals were getting better before the bye week. This is the healthiest and friskiest the Cincinnati Bengals should be all year. So the Niners, off a short week, they got a team coming in with an awful lot of rest. This one ain't going to be easy. This is not going to be easy. But the Niners do have an advantage in one place. They really do. And that advantage is running the ball. Because the Bengals allow over 142 rushing yards per game. That is the 4th most in all of football. We know when the 49ers are at their best, that ground game is keeping this offense ahead of the chains and on. And it is time for this ground game to pop because it really hasn't in the last, here's the secret, not just last 2 weeks, but last 3 weeks. What's wrong with the 49ers rushing attack is a story that goes back to the Dallas Cowboy game now. if you really want to look at it. The Bengals, meanwhile, not only give up the fourth most amount of rushing yards per game in the NFL, but they've got the second worst rushing attack in the NFL, ahead of only the Las Vegas Raiders, who are dead last in running the football. But the 49ers need to get back to what they do the best, and they need Christian McCaffrey to do that, obviously, and I think they need somebody else to help Christian McCaffrey do that. It's time for Jordan Mason to join the party again. I don't know what he did. I don't know why he has been odd man out, but I want Jordan Mason to get carries in this game. I'd like at least 5 for Jordan Mason. More probably, but I want at least 5. You got to do something other than just ask Christian McCaffrey to figure it all out by himself again. And by the way, Christian could probably use the help. McCaffrey has been fading a little in terms of productivity on the ground since that Dallas game. McCaffrey averaged 2.7 yards on 19 attempts against Dallas, 3.9 yards on 11 carries against Cleveland, 3 yards on average on Monday night in that loss in Minnesota. That's the first time since Christian McCaffrey's rookie season where he's failed to average at least a 4-yard average in 3 consecutive games. What does that mean? Does that mean the blocking's not getting it done? That Christian's being a little overused right now? That teams are starting to figure out this rushing attack just a little bit because every team in football is trying to mirror the 49ers rushing attack, and what used to be sort of some signature of their own is now common throughout football, and the league is starting to catch up with what they do and how they go about it? Again, no one was really saying this during the 5-game winning streak. But it's been evident during the 2-game losing streak that this ground game is something other than normal. So get back to normal on the ground. And oh, by the way, Christian McCaffrey is still the number 1 running back in football in terms of yards, touchdowns. He's got Raheem Mostert like right on his back for total touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. They're tied for first in the NFL. Maybe Mike McDaniel being somewhere else. And he's really good as a coach and as a schemer. He really is. Has taken a little bit of that sizzle with him. But again, look, when this team was winning 5 in a row, nobody talked about what that ground game wasn't. It only kind of come into focus in a few losses that weren't. So get it going. Officially get it going. It is time for Maximum Football. Indeed, Maximum Football. Let me tell you what's going on. Week 8 is underway. Week 8 already. It's going by fast, isn't it? We got Bills with a win over the Bucs on Thursday Night Football. Last week's slate was kind of a dog. It wasn't a great slate. I mean, they can't all be beauty pageant winners, right? This week it's better. There's some really interesting games out there, and games that didn't look necessarily interesting at the beginning of the year have become interesting. The Rams at the Cowboys, that's more interesting than anyone thought that it would be. And the question here is, will the NFC West sweep the Dallas Cowboys? Arizona got its wins over Dallas. 49ers beat Dallas. Now we'll see if the Rams can beat Dallas. But That no one circled that game when the schedule came out. It's a little bit of a circle it for this weekend slate. Browns at Seahawks. Again, who circled that at the beginning of the year? That is a sneaky big game with both teams at 4-2. Seattle at home is a handful. The Browns are just a handful everywhere these days. Myles Garrett warpath continues in the Pacific Northwest. So that game is a little sexier than it looked when the schedule came out. Jags and Steelers. This game goes a long way to see if Pittsburgh is really going to be in the AFC playoff conversation when it's said and done. Meanwhile, the Jaguars are 5-2. They've been a kind of a battle-tested team already this year. And again, they're going to be taking on the 49ers after the bye. So keep an eye on that game. You want to do a little advanced scouting? Got, what is it? Is it Buccaneers? Is it Buccaneers after the bye week? Then the Jaguars? I got to figure it out. I got to open up the schedule. But again, one at a time. You can only play them one at a time. So it's Cincinnati Bengals, which is a 1:25 afternoon kickoff. The Bengals at the 49ers. Sunday Night Football is a game only a mother could love. Bears at the Chargers. Monday Night Football. Raiders at the Lions. Sneaky interesting, right? Because we're trying to figure out who the Lions are, and the Raiders are just like trying to figure it out. So that's kind of interesting. It's set up to be a really fun sports weekend. It truly is. And we got one of the best TV shows out there in the world of sports back on your TV tonight. We got Warriors at the Kings. Warriors extinguished the beam in the playoffs last year. But I'll tell you, going 7 with Sacramento is a reason why the Warriors washed out of the NBA playoff. The Kings might have lost the series, but I think they took an awful lot of the stuffing out of the Golden State Warriors. And there is no doubt the Kings would love to light the beam for a 2-0 start this year, sending the Warriors to 0-2. You know what, Steve? I want to see Trayce Jackson-Davis tonight, especially if it's another night where Draymond Green is unavailable. Give me Trayce Jackson-Davis. I should have seen Trayce Jackson-Davis on opening night. And considering you got beat on the glass, a place where I think Jackson-Davis is going to help you this year, there's no reason to not give him a little test of the waters in game number 2. Because guess what? Andrew Wiggins was disinterested in competing in the first game of the year. Dario Saric was nothing to write home about. And without Draymond Green in the depth chart, again, Steve, little advice from me to you. This ain't like your other rookies. This kid is ready for the situation you're going to plop him into. He's ready for it. I know he is. I want a little Trayce Jackson-Davis out there tonight. And if I don't get it and the Warriors lose, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be pissed off come Monday's show, which, by the way, is going to start Monday with 49ers Wake Up. Larry Krueger and I back at it after whatever happens in that 49ers-Bengals game. And, of course, I hope you plan on joining me Sunday afternoon. Sometime around 4 o'clock-ish is when that 2-minute warning should be hitting in the 49ers and Bengals game. And we're going to be getting underway with the most aggressive post-game show in the history of YouTube. So aggressive that we begin it before the game even goes final. By the way, I'm very proud of myself. I haven't coughed in 23 minutes, which might be the longest I've gone without violently coughing all week. And I also cursed myself a little right there, didn't I? Knock on wood. Am I getting a little bit better? I hope so. The Spilkus seems to be coming up. Do you see the De'Aaron Fox, not only tonight, but going forward, is going to be rocking Curry's? De'Aaron Fox might be a king, but he's also part of that Curry brand now, signing with Under Armour, but specifically the Curry brand. So he's like the first, if Curry is to Under Armour what Jordan is to Nike, De'Aaron Fox is the first athlete to come under the umbrella of the Curry brand other than Steph Curry himself. I'm sure that paycheck was really, really nice. But I'll tell you, it's a good guy for Curry to target as one of his brand ambassadors, because I don't know anyone who doesn't enjoy watching De'Aaron Fox play. Like, he is one of the best watches in the NBA. He's the reason why, among the reasons why, at the top of a very short list of why the Kings are so much fun to watch. He's the fastest guy in the NBA with a ball in his hand. He really is. He's as fast as anyone I've ever seen with a ball in his hand. So De'Aaron Fox, with speed being key, wearing a pair of Currys, that's good business for Steph Curry. Absolutely good business for Steph Curry. Fox is coming off a career season. 25 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Love him as a player. So congratulations to all involved. I'm sure the sneakers will be fine and the paycheck will be extraordinary. It's good that these NBA guys finally catch a break with some, sustainable income, isn't it? True Blue forever, who always knows about getting a towel. You guys gonna need a towel. Don't forget to bring your towel. Cow. I did. I shot a picture of the thumbnail to Albie, my former producer, because he and I used to speak fluent South Park with each other. And I knew he enjoyed it. All right. Looking around the NBA last night, and believe me, I'm going to start looking around this chat over here, right? When we get into Club Plus. Folks, there's a new sheriff in town in the Eastern Conference. I really think so. And one of the reasons why Giannis would have made a great warrior is because he is a great player and just an unselfish teammate. And he proved it in his first game playing with Dame Lillard last night. Lillard closed with the final 11 points scored for Milwaukee. He finished with 39 in his debut with the Bucks. Giannis had 23 and 13. And he has absolutely empowered Dame Lillard to be everything that Dame Lillard was in Portland. We want you with the ball in your hand making decisions. We want you playing aggressively. We want you heat checking yourself. There are very few athletes that are unselfish all the way. Giannis is unselfish all the way. And he's got a ring. He's got his MVPs. He doesn't need to, no more personal glory. He just wants to win. And he is thrilled to have a teammate like Dame Lillard, which, with all due respect to every Milwaukee Buck that he played with, is far and away the best teammate he's ever had. And we've watched enough Dame Lillard to know that the only thing that has really ever held back Dame Lillard was that the best teammate he ever played with in Portland was C.J. McCollum. And it's not a shot at C.J. McCollum, who's a good player, but you can't be matching up with teams that are running big threes at you with Lillard and McCollum and expect, to have an awful lot of success. NBA better look out because Giannis, Middleton, Lopez, Malik Beasley, Cameron Payne. This is the best team that Dame Lillard has ever been on, ever in his life. So the Eastern Conference better look the hell out, man. Seriously, better look the hell out. They got a 1-point win over the Sixers last night. Again, began their season in total chaos. Thanks to James Harden. James Harden sucks. He really does. Did you see, and this is funny. Hold on, I'm going to cough just one more time here. I did jinx myself. Did you see a story that the NBA is going to be investigating Harden's absence from the season opener with the new rules that police player participation in nationally televised games? I have also concluded my own investigation, and we have discovered that James Harden is a terrible teammate and an asshole. That's why he's not there. And the Sixers have every right to tell a guy who has been a malcontent and a non-participant in the entire run-up to the season, you stay home, dickhead. Like, what do you mean the NBA is investigating James Harden's absence? That's insane. He needs to be traded for compensation right now. Have you heard the story that the Clippers have totally backed off any interest of him? For now, anyways, maybe they'll reevaluate it, but all I can tell you is that Daryl Morey's ego is about to crush another season of Philadelphia 76ers basketball. Philly cannot afford to let this linger. They can't. Are they gonna? Like, is Morey trying to win a trade? Which he can't at this point. He can't. If I were Joel Embiid's agent, I would call Daryl Morey and I would say, you trade that son of a bitch right now or trade my guy. If I'm Joel Embiid, I have wasted years of my career with this whole Ben Simmons bullshit that he had to go through, and now you're going to do it with James Harden? I mean, this guy's coming off an MVP. He's in the prime of his career. And not only does Joel Embiid have to go out and compete against the opposition each and every night, he's got to compete against his own team's shortcomings and poorly constructed roster with a malcontent who's demanding a trade to the point where, again, if the Clippers aren't coming with the offer that you're looking for, you got to trade Harden for pennies on the dollar. You lose, Daryl Morey. You lose this. If his ego won't let him get a trade. Just again, this is addition by subtraction. You want something back for the asset that is Harden. But think about it. Harden, with the worst reputation that a player can possibly craft for himself as a teammate, is an unselfish player. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Where is the real value? Who in their right mind would say, yeah, let's bring in James Harden and tailor the entire franchises around that asshole? Who would do that? What team in the NBA can really look at James Harden and say, yeah, that juice is worth the squeeze? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, he's in a really good situation right now, and he's trying to work his way out of that situation. It's one thing to work your way out of bad situations. It's another thing to work your way out of good situations. So, man, it's getting ugly in Philadelphia. It's going to be ugly until James Harden's gone. Did you see that in the NBA we got new franchise values being shared? And oh boy, the Golden State Warriors have already won the race that matters most to owners. Like, it doesn't matter what the Warriors do on the court this year. Joe Lacob's already won. The Warriors are far and away dwarfing now the New York Knicks. In terms of NBA value, the Warriors are number one, worth $7.7 billion. That used to be a number attached to like the New York Yankees and the Dallas Cowboys. $7.7 billion. That is worth $1.1 billion more than the New York Knicks, who come in at $6.6 billion. The Lakers are the third most valuable NBA franchise at $6.4. The Celtics are fourth with a huge drop-off to $4.7 billion. How about that? The Warriors are worth more than $3 billion more than the fourth most valuable team in the league. Good God. Forbes is reporting that the average value of an NBA franchise is now $3.85 billion, a 35% increase from last season and a 75% increase since 2019. Now the cough is back. I jinxed myself. Shit. 75% increase from 2019. Good God. By the way, I was just thumbing around today on the internet, and I came across this story about Taylor Swift. The reason why the NFL will just absolutely put her in every single luxury box that they can find and show her 15, 20 times during a game, because you can't go wrong betting on Taylor Swift. It doesn't matter how many hardcore football fans you are rubbing the wrong way with too much of a presence from Taylor Swift. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Because guess what hardcore football fans are? They're anyway. If you're a hardcore football fan, you're not turning the game off. You're not. You're not. At no point in time will you be like, they keep on showing this pretty blonde so much that I'm done watching football today. It's not going to happen. And oh, by the way, who would go chasing out or not show off one of the greatest assets in business in the world right now? Taylor Swift. Not the tour that she just went on. That tour has made over $1 billion. That doesn't mean you're a billionaire. It means your tour has made over $1 billion. What's Taylor making? Well, Taylor's entire career leading up to this tour, and then the incredible victory lap of the tour that she just is ending in North America and is now taken around the world. She is now worth over $1 billion. Taylor Swift is a billionaire for reals. And as a matter of fact, she's one of the most important centers of just the economy in America. Her 53 U.S. tour dates this year added $4.3 billion to the country's gross domestic product. That's insane. I've heard of a lot of successful tours. I've never heard of one adding to a country's gross domestic product quite like that. It was written in Forbes that she's had over $700 million in ticket sales for her Eras tour, and that's not including profits from her box office topping Eras tour film, nor does it include the international leg of the tour, which kicks off in South America next month. So she's probably going to go make another $1 billion around the globe with this thing. The quote in Forbes was fantastic, saying Swift Inc. is essentially Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce's girlfriend, is essentially a multinational conglomerate with the world's most devoted customer base. If Taylor Swift told her fans to run outside and eat dirt, you would have 1 million TikTok videos of 14-year-old girls eating dirt right out of the flower bed in their backyard. Like, she commands an army. Travis Kelce's podcast, thanks to Swifties, is like bigger than Joe Rogan's now. Well, I don't know about that, but it's approaching it. It's one of the most downloaded podcasts in the world right now, thanks to Taylor Swift. Who would have ever thought? Oh, I see the chat is flying over there. Tick, 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 tick. We'll get to you, of course. We stop shows for super chats when we see them, but I don't see any yet. That's all right. It's okay. I do see my boy Ike is in there saying hello to Drew Down. It's my man right there. By the way, before I forget, as you know, we end every single Friday with a little segment and some love for our friend Big Herbs, the dearly departed Michael Urban. And we do that with a good for ball and bad for ball segment. Yesterday we ended the show on such a negative note talking about the Maine shooting that I don't even want to incorporate any bad for ball into today's Uncle Boys good for ball, bad for ball. And isn't it great that we still got Uncle Boys involved? It's so wonderful to have them still as a sponsor of this very special segment. So go get yourself a delicious burger this weekend from Uncle Boys. Try the lumpia, as you all know. Let me tell you what's good for ball. Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers are hosting Game 1 of the World Series this evening. That's good for ball. That I can't even say it without smiling. I really can't. I'm so happy for Bruce Bochy. I will say that this is, we got Zach Gallen and Nathan Eovaldi getting going at 5 o'clock West Coast time tonight. This World Series will be enjoyed by very few people unless there is an overwhelmingly compelling elimination in Game 6 or Game 7. If it reaches that far, this is a officially the World Series that no one ever wanted, no one ever asked for. There could not be a worse World Series matchup for Major League Baseball than probably this. The Arizona Diamondbacks have this many fans, and the Texas Rangers have this many fans. So it's this versus this. Maybe that's the bad for ball right there. I don't care. I love it. I'm watching. There's no such thing as the World Series that I wasn't interested in. And I actually think Arizona is a lot of fun to watch. They're an entertaining team. They make hell on the base pads. I like Arizona. They were interesting all year. They were a billion times more interesting than the San Francisco Giants. There wasn't a single Diamondbacks-Giants game where I wasn't like, yeah, this Arizona team is pretty good. And here they are now in the World Series, but go Boch. Boch is trying to win the Texas Rangers its first World Series ever. So Bruce Bochy, the first man who ever, put the Padres into the World Series, the first man who ever won a World Series as skipper of the San Francisco Giants, and then he won 2 more after that. And now if he goes on to be the first manager to ever win a World Series with the Texas Rangers, it really is time to talk about how Bruce Bochy is right there with the single greatest managers in the history of Major League Baseball. He's there. He's there. He is on the one line. Bruce Bochy isn't approaching it anymore. He's officially there. And that, to me, would be good for ball. Really good for ball. I love it. So thank you to Uncle Boys for sponsoring that. Thank you to mybookie.ag. Use promo code Damon for a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Use promo code Bruce when you sign up for Bottom Line Bets. And there are really 3 ways to support what we're doing right here. Support my sponsors, the Super Chats, or just hitting like and subscribe. You can either work the sponsors, you can work the ganja jar, or you can work the algorithm. And I appreciate you doing all 3. And to show a little appreciation, the last thing I want to leave you with before we hop into Club Plus today here on the YouTube channel is that we are a weekend away from Plus Mania 2 Electric Boogaloo at Victory Hall. It is coming up. It's around the corner, November 5th. We're going to get going between noon, 1 o'clock, just casually walk on in. No hard start time, no hard end time. Just come on over to Victory Hall on Rich Street. It's an alley in San Francisco, November 5th. Plus Mania 2, all guests subject to appearance. But I do think that Larry Kruger is going to be with us. I think Giannis is going to be hanging out with us. Jack and Ozzy are going to be left with Grandma and Grandpa this time around, which means we're partying. We are partying this Sunday. So I hope you make it on out. It would be great to see you there. We'd love to have you, obviously. And are you ready? We didn't have one yesterday, so we are about to hop into Club Plus here, see what everyone is chatting about. I know I've already missed some stuff, but if there's one thing that I know about this chat, this chat is there's always good stuff coming. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for listening on the podcast. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. It's a really good sports weekend. World Series, NBA, NFL. What more do you want? Oh, it's also hockey season. Someone should tell that to the San Jose Sharks. Sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he is gone. Where is my plug? How do I lose this damn thing every day? Where is the plug on this thing? Oh, there it is. Ooh. You ready to party here on a Friday? Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? Let's start with Skywalker Destroyer 52. Niners are struggling to find their legit quarterback like the Giants struggling to sign their superstar free agent. What are you talking about? The 49ers aren't struggling to find anything. They have found their quarterback. His name is Brock Purdy, and you better get used to it, okay? You know, bell rung in a football game does not mean they're reevaluating the position. Sam Darnold is about to usurp him. Calm down. Calm down. The last thing Kyle wants is another goddamn revolving door at the position of quarterback. Chef A says, hey guys, why does everyone hate Baker Mayfield? Well, you know what I think it is? It's because the media turned on him. It's because the media turned on him. It was easy. It was a punching bag in Cleveland and just another failed Cleveland quarterback. And it turns out, oh, by the way, he was one of the best quarterbacks that the Cleveland Browns have had. And look at what they got now. Baker Mayfield is totally outplaying whoever is playing quarterback for the Browns. He's cocky. He's arrogant. I like Baker Mayfield. I don't dislike Baker Mayfield. I woke up feeling dangerous. That's a great quote, isn't it? Queso from 2002. Okay, that's a little funky at this point, right? But Queso, 2002 says, Jags all day, baby. Steelers offense is mid. I would agree with you. I think that, I don't know if the Steelers' offense is mid. I just think that their quarterback might be, although he's starting to figure it out. Kenny Pickett's getting a little bit better. But I think the Jags are pretty damn good. I think the Browns are, I think the Jaguars are pretty good. All right. I gotta scroll down here a little bit. Irwin says, hey, for the Warriors, how about a little TJD, maybe a little Usman Garuba appearance? Give me a Trayce Jackson-Davis before you give me a Garuba appearance. Come on. Is Brock cleared? Don't know yet. Got to take Damon's word on Trayce. The Kings have some bigs, and TJD could counter. Look, I thought TJD held his own against Sabonis in the preseason, so you're going to need a little of that tonight, again, especially if Draymond's not going. Old Dirty Hungus talking about the cough. Damon, you did jinx it. I did. You can still hear that lung butter. You can. There's a gurgling. Like, I'll lay down at night. First of all, Jillian and I, all week long, because I have these coughing fits, these loud coughing fits in the middle of the night, I've been sleeping downstairs. We're like a 1950s married couple sleeping in separate beds this week. I just don't want to keep her awake. So I've been downstairs. It's also given me a chance to start the Netflix John Gotti 3-part limited series, which I know she'd have no interest in. I'm a Gotti guy. It's okay. I'm only through one episode. Cough of the day. You do. You get sips of the day. You get cough of the day. Pern Amore says, Damon, do you smoke? Not cigarettes. Yeah, man. But no, I have not been smoking anything this week. There you go. Damon, how do you measure maturity? Yeah, I don't smoke weed when I got a lung issue. Ta-da! Old Dirty Hungus talking about De'Aaron Fox signing with the Curry brand. Dude made a fan of me last season. As good a watch as J.A. minus the dumb shit. Was that, J.A. I'm thinking, who's J.A.? No, that's Ja. Dude, doesn't that show you? Out of sight, out of mind. Ja who? Ja Morant? Is he still a professional athlete? Or does he want to be an Instagram gangster? I haven't figured it out yet. I don't think he has either. Tiger Tanko 6 says, I'm already counting this Warriors game as a loss tonight, or it's going to be hard to win without a legit big. Here's the thing for the Golden State Warriors, right? If this is a loss tonight, and in any way you're starting to look at the fact like, oh, they haven't solved their problems on the road last year, well, they're going to get off to a terrible start that they might not recover from, because did you know that 7 of the next 8 games for the Warriors are on the road? They're about to play in Sacramento, in Houston, and in New Orleans. Then they come home for a game against the Kings on November 1st at Chase Center. Then they're right back out on the road for a 4-game road trip. Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Detroit, and Denver. They're going to be losing in Denver, for sure. So, speaking of Detroit, we'll see if James Wiseman doesn't get another coach DNP tonight. Hey, we got Chris Paul, though. Look, Chris Paul's going to pay off. You keep those damn turnovers down. The Warriors are going to be in a lot more games than they gave away last year, especially on the road. We're 2 games into an 82-game season. But yeah, this is a big one. Big one in Sacramento. Ah. All right. What else we got going on here? Sporticus says, many NBA players say that they want to win, but very few exemplify it through their actions. Giannis is one of those guys. He's so unselfish, man. He comes in at Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is on the court, and instead of trying to be like, no, you're on my team, buddy, he's like, this is your team too. And since you are someone who plays in the backcourt and's got the ball in his hands, do what you do. We didn't bring you here to be another version of Dame Lillard. We brought you here to be Dame Lillard. And we all know what time that is. That's Dame time. So you saw that right away, and that looks quickly to be a very good fit. Drew Down says 17 free throws. Yeah, he did go 17 for 17. But when it comes to shooting free throws, the 76ers usually get to shoot more free throws than anybody. So if they lost because an opponent had a free throw advantage, good. Harden, DMP, fat. Or like DMP, a-hole. What else? Oh, we're in the ripping on James Harden portion of the show. There's no reason to keep on doing that. I think we all agree. We all totally agree. Tiger Tank says, please, can we let Joe Lacob buy the A's? You can make that franchise profitable. Oh, look, it's profitable right now, but that's because they've gutted anything that actually looks like a major league team. But yeah, you can't force a sale, but Lacob, absolutely. I think they want to buy it, but John Fisher doesn't want to sell it because John Fisher has nothing left to his family's legacy because the gap is dying. So this is it. It's his last chance to be important, and he'll fuck that up too. The cough. Damon, you disrespected the cough gods. I might have, Drew. I got cocky. Irwin's like, Taylor shouldn't bother you so much that you can't watch your favorite team. People just want to justify their own feelings. And people complain about everything. Complain about everything all the time. All the time. I had somebody the other day complaining on a podcast review. They're like, 1 star. The sip of the day thing is stupid. Really? The sip of the day mention, which never lasts more than 4 seconds, is enough to give me a 1-star review and say it's the reason why I'm not listening anymore? You fucking pussies. Oh my God. You think that everything is just going to be given to you exactly the way you want it all the time. Generation microwave. You suck. All right. Richard Alexander says, I've been to 2 Taylor Swift concerts. She is amazing. Look, I'm never going to say, I am never, ever going to say that I know. Here's the thing. I haven't listened to enough Taylor Swift to know if I do or don't like her. I'm also not Taylor Swift curious enough to necessarily find out. But like an entire generation must be onto something. Like if she were bad at this, she wouldn't be as popular as she is. But it's just, it's not for me. Come on down to Cleveland Land Town. Economy is based on LeBron James. That is one of the greatest That's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest videos in the history of the internet. Those Cleveland. Yeah. Our main exports are depression and LeBron James or whatever it was. Oh, that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And how about this? My good friend, Ike, saying Uncle Boys is officially good for ball. Yes, they are, Ike, and so are you. Ike's is good for ball. Oh, jingle, jangle. Fisherman's friend Damon cough drops at Amazon. So what do we got over here? I'm even going to pop one in. These are the Vapo Cool Vicks. Vapo Cool. And they do a nice job. But yeah, the Fisherman's Friend, that's a good trusted brand. I got a little Vicks. You know what I do too? You can tell that I used to dip tobacco because whenever I get a cough drop, like it starts out on the side, you work the tongue, you want the cough drop juices to start, getting back there. You want your saliva to carry the medicinal property of the cough drop down your throat. Then it always goes here. The cough drop always ends up in the front of my lip like it's a chew. I chewed for like 20 years, and I don't anymore. I haven't had a chew since El Stroco Loco. I also haven't had any fast food since El Stroco Loco. If you ask me, Damon, which would you rather have? Like a 20-piece McNugget or a dip? Oh, I do miss the dip. I really do. Bad for you. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I dipped. It's not good for you. There you go. There's your tip of the day. Dipping's not good for you, kids. Don't do it. Do you realize that Bochy or Mad Bum is getting a ring? I didn't even think about that, but yeah. Bochy or Mad Bum, one of those guys gets a ring. All right. Yeah, Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria might get a ring. And he'll actually earn it, unlike Madison Bumgarner. True blue forever with the Longoria sighting. From 95.7 to YouTube, we got you, man. Thank you, Inventive Films. Thank you very much. Again, the support has been fantastic, and I truly appreciate it. And hit that like and subscribe button. It grows a little bit more by the day. I really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the support you guys have given me. And it's also got to be making these radio stations shit their pants just a little. Damon, will Ray rattle? Ray is on like an East Coast, multiple city vacation. So Ray is, I don't even know if Ray's in California right now. But let's be honest, even if he were, he wouldn't be there. I guess was Ike asked about the sandwiches that he likes, the Steph Curry, the Jim Rome, the Hunter Pence. I have had a Hunter Pence. I've had all three of those. The last sandwich that I got was a Paul Rubens. I love that sandwich. All right. Chardonnay Dog wants to know when is Ike's coming to Napa? When is it happening? Ike, make it happen. Chupas 3908. Love you, Damon. Love you, Chupas. Thank you so much. Oh, here we go. The price in Napa is higher than Towley. Don't forget to bring a towel. Probably not soon, unfortunately, but would love to. In other words, is the juice worth the squeeze? Might not be. Sorry, Napa. The Sentinel Football Channel says, I hate Baker because Bosa hates him, and that's enough for me. Look at it this way. Sooners won that game at Buckeye Stadium. He won it at Ohio Stadium, man. So Baker planted the flag as he should. As he should. Mofo Friday, Michelle Haberman, Bruce Mofo Bochy. Absolutely Mofo Bochy. Go get him, Boch. Bruce, we got a 13-4 all-time record against the Bengals, including Super Bowls. Have a losing record all-time with the Browns and the Vikings. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? But I can tell you, Sentinel, that past is not prologue. None of that matters on game day. It really doesn't. Because I'm not worried at all on Sunday. Again, I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be, so I'm not going to join you in the ain't nothing to worry about. Sporticus, dropping the Mucinex knowledge. Thank you, Sporticus. All right. What else going on today? Irwin says, did you guys catch that ESPN article? It's pointing the finger at Ja's dad as the main influence in his current behavior. Yeah, John Morant's dad is an attention-seeking whore of a douchebag who has let his son down at more turns than not since becoming a pro. It's the truth. John Morant's dad wants to be as famous as his son. He is riding his coattails harder than any dad should ever ride his son's coattails. It's kind of gross. It really is. And let me tell you, dad is always responsible for behavior of the son. Always. As a dad with two sons, I'm going to tell you that I'm responsible for those boys, whether I'm there or not. And how they act is a direct reflection of how I'm raising them. And yeah, it's gross to think that someone would have all the money, access, influence in the world, but still thinks it's cooler to be a totally pretend, absolutely 1,000,000% fake internet gun-toting gangster is just massive douchery, and it shows you the endemic, awful programming that has been pumped into so many young black men to think of what is really valuable and what gives them social currency in this world. It's sad. It's sad that so many young men have been led astray into projecting an image that is officially bad for business. David Rader says, Taylor, she needs to change up that set list every show a little bit. Bad Blood into Drum Space into Shake It Off. I just heard that John Mayer did a Dark Star into Body is a Wonderland back into Dark Star. And I don't know if that makes me laugh or makes me want to rip my own eardrums out. I don't know. I haven't heard it, but I heard about it. Lots of Mucinex shout outs here. Damon, do you think that Klay Thompson's going to be re-signed before the trade deadline? Alan, I think you're watching possibly the last season of Klay Thompson in a Warriors uniform. I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, you can't keep everyone all the time. You can't. Paco says, hey there, Damon, longtime podcast listener, first time live show tune in, and I hope you're having a great day. Paco, you're helping me have a great day. Thank you so very, very much. And I'm going to tell you, this is not, I hope, going to be the last time you pop in during the live show, because what you're going to experience is the coolest chat room, the best group of sports fans, I think anywhere in the Bay Area. I really do. The folks that keep on coming back on a daily basis to hang out over here together, they're just awesome. They're really awesome. So thanks to all of you. Thanks to being an awesome group. Thanks to being a group of people who are worried about the lung butter and the mucus. People actually care about each other over here. It's amazing when you actually meet people, how easy it is to like them. And that's why I hope you come on out to the Plus Mania meetup that is happening at Victory Hall on November 5th. We will promote that more and more and more throughout the week next week. Sporticus, just say no to dip of the day. Yeah, no more dips of the day from me. Although I'm going to tell you right now, if I found out hey, Damon, you got a week to live, every day of that week's going to be spent with a dip in. Jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle, postman. Oy, oy, oy. Thank you very much. My buddy of mine works in the 49ers office. He said the coaches spent the night Tuesday and looked haggard the next morning. Yeah, this is what happens. I mean, it is not easy to be an NFL head coach. It's actually bad for you to be an NFL head coach or even a member of a coaching staff, especially on a short week. You got probably people sleeping at Levi Stadium all week. Set up, going to the mattresses, if you will, if I can put it in Godfather terms. Thank you very much, Postman in Capitola, who says he's got treats coming for the Plus family. Oy, oy, oy! We can't wait to see you, Postman. I know the Postman was upset he couldn't make it to Plus Mania Uno. He will be at Plus Mania Dos. Oh, and look at this. True Blue Forever says the Postman always rings twice. Speaking of Dos. And we go back to Danny. Again, jingle, jangle, ganja jar, Danny. I think Darnold should start on Sunday. The Niners need Purdy fully healthy all the year, the Super Bowl, so they shouldn't risk a concussion getting worse. You're probably right. But I can also tell you that the player plays. And if the player is ready to go, I think he plays. Look at Ray Ratto out there living his best life, touring the East Coast, finding new things to hate. Oh, absolutely, JJ Raider. I wonder, and again, I worked with Ray for years. We did 1,000-something shows together. I still don't know what he actually likes. What does he enjoy other than hating things? I don't know. Alan says, hey, Damon, is there going to be Warriors postgame tonight? No, there's not going to be any Warriors postgame tonight because I believe it's pumpkin carving night at the Bruce household. And then after it's pumpkin carving night, Jillian, I think, is going to go out with a friend of hers, get a couple cocktails, and she certainly deserves a night away from the kids. So I'm on double daddy duty. We're pumpkin carving. Then I'm going to be tucking and tucking in both kids while Jillian is throwing back some martinis, I hope. She certainly deserves it. Old Dirty Hungus says, it's confirmed that Ray is converted to the Church of Latter-day Saints. He's on a mission right now. Could you imagine that? Can you imagine Ray Ratto showing up at your front door wearing like a white shirt, tie, little name tag, says, hi, my name is Ray. He's like, I'd like to hand you this pamphlet. Ray, a religious Ray Ratto. That's hysterical. Folks, hold on. Old Dirty Hungus says, John Mayer, like Bruce Bochy, has forgettable solo stuff, but their play with the dead really impressed the shit out of me. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. John Mayer's got some good stuff as a solo artist. He's also got some stuff I don't like. Bruce Hornsby, I still love Mandolin Rain. Anytime Mandolin Raid, Old Country Road comes on, that's just the way it is. Still works after all these years. Hornsby's got a lot of good stuff too. Hell of a piano player. The more we talk with each other, the more we find common ground. Now, I don't know if you're talking about like the world or Plusers, but either way, you're right. That's a universal truth. There are more, again, you can take someone from a corner of the world that you've never been to, doesn't look like you, doesn't speak your language, prays to a different God, whatever. Here's what everyone wants: a happy, healthy family. That is the one thing that we forget truly unites us. It's amazing how often we look at someone and say, well, they must be so different from me. They don't even, no, everyone loves their grandma. Even the bad guy loves his grandma. You know what I mean? So family, kids, love, spread it around. Spread the love. Ray enjoys solitude. End list. It's up there. It is up there. Lynn wants to know, Damon, what happened to the Blackened sign? Well, Blackened was one of our initial sponsors. They came in the middle of a year. They've exceeded their advertising budget and did not re-up, but say that they might be back. And should they come back, the Blackened sign will probably be right back here. In the meantime, Damon, you still got love for Blackened? Do I? Come on. There it is. Keep one right on. Keep a bottle of whiskey on your desk at work. What do we got here? Oh, thanks, Damon. We have to keep up with how good you are. Ah, dude, there's nothing real special going on here. It's just the truth, and that makes me stand out like a sore thumb these days. But thank you. Thank you very much. Again, you guys have just been absolutely awesome. You know that Jerry played the mandolin on Mandolin Rain? I don't know if Jerry did that. I do know that Jerry played the slide guitar on You Will Find Your Way Across the River. That's on Across the River. That was Jerry. I don't know about the mandolin, though. But of course, that explains why I like it. Dr. Jazz Hands. Good to see you back in here, Doc. Are we trading at the trade deadline no matter what, depending on how the Cincinnati game goes? Yeah, I mean, I think you do. I think that there's another move coming no matter what. It'd be crazy not to. It would be crazy not to. I want to thank you for being a part of today's show. I want to thank you for being part of the community that we've got going on here. And it is a legit community that one more time will be assembling. News team, assemble. We are going to go ahead, get together for Plus Mania 2, Electric Boogaloo, coming up at Victory Hall, November 5th. We're going to watch a Sunday of football together. Oh, whatever goes off at the 1 o'clock. So we're not getting there at 10 a.m. But, around noon, 1 o'clock, we're all going to come pouring in. We're all going to be hanging out. Make sure you tip your bartender aggressively and generously. And thank you who tipped aggressively and generously here today. I do appreciate that. True Blue Forever says he's coming in wearing stretchy pants. I don't know how that's good for business. I don't know. I mean, don't make him. Here's the thing. I want you to be comfortable, but I don't want to see any of your package. You know what I mean? I don't want any bulging going on. No bulges at Plus Mania 2. Thank you very much. Postman Capitola.
Send it in, Jerome!
How could you not? How could you not? Hey, thank you very much for being a part of this one. Have a great weekend. Join me at the 2-minute warning. 49ers and Bengals, 2-minute warning. We'll be doing it. And then the very next morning at 8 a.m., it's 49ers Wake Up with yours truly and Larry Krueger. Little later this afternoon. Keep an eye. This is why you need to notify. Hit that notify button too, not just the subscribe button. Hit the notify button. And Larry and I are going to be doing a little bit of a Bengals preview with someone who covers the Cincinnati Bengals and get you ready a little bit later on this afternoon. At least that's the plan. So there you go. That's the plan. Meanwhile, your plan doesn't need to include you going home right now. You just can't stay here.